Hey guys, it's Leann, Smelltown Stitches, and I'm finally back with Flosstube 142, I believe. Today is Wednesday, October 29th, so I obviously wasn't able to come back before the end of the month, but that should hopefully change. So I'm going to go ahead and handle the elephant in the room. Please excuse my voice. I have a chest cold, so if I cough, I'm so sorry. I'm going to try and edit it out where I can, especially if it's really, really bad. But today's Flosstube episode is brought to you by Halls and Water, essentially. So I may have to do this in clips and splice them all together. I didn't want to wait any longer, but it's been a mess. So the morning, of course, if you have a chest cold, you know the mornings are the worst and nighttime is the worst. So you just have to deal with me sounding like a guy right now, essentially. So, but I have a lot to talk about, I feel. I have 8 whips that I've done since we've been in our last Flosstube. I've focused a little bit on some of them more than others. And I have 2 finishes to show you guys. They're not fully finished because, you know, why would we do that? But I have 2 finishes to show you guys. So my first finish is my focus for this year. And that is going to be Halloween Night by Tilton Crafts. As you guys know, I cropped it pretty much in half. So I should put a picture of where it was when you guys last saw it in the last Flosstube. So we started this piece after the last Flosstube at 97.93%. I didn't write down how many stitches I did, which I guess it really doesn't matter. But this piece was originally started on May 1st, 2019. And I finished it on October 5th, 2025. So it took me essentially 6 years, even with cropping it in half. But, you know, I didn't work on it every day or anything. And this particular piece is stitched on a 20 count Aida 2/1 full cross with DMC. And here we are. It's not ironed either. Ta-da! I'm very happy with my placement of where I decided to crop it. And I'm very happy that I did crop it. I think it's, my cough drop is sticking to my teeth. I think it's just enough. But yeah, it looks really good. 20 count 2/1. Full cross gets a little tight with DMC. I would not recommend it with CXC to do it 2/1. I would always do that 1/1 when 20 count, but I feel like 1/1 with DMC for me is a little sparse. So I'll bring it in, and here's where we are at. Can you believe we're done? So there's that one. And as soon as that one was done, I wanted to get my next focus on that I had randomly started doing, which was Hobbit Hole. And this is by Taiji Designs. I'll insert a picture of where I had started it. And I started this piece, this rotation at 90.26%. I started this one on February 16th, 2024. And I finished it October 8th, 2025. So I finished it 3 days after I finished Halloween Night. This one is also on stitch 2/1 with DMC and an 18 count. And it is, the fabric is Murky Waters, which is from Dying for Cross Stitch. And here is this one. It kind of blows it out when you, I guess that's more accurate back here, but here we are. The only change I made to this one, I was talking to Rainey and Alicia. The writing down here was charted in like 3857, I believe, and I just didn't like the red. So I just changed the writing to 3371 instead. So here's this one. And I can't wait to get these framed. If you are new here, I guess a little bit late, but hi, welcome. I am primarily a full coverage stitcher. That's what typically calls to me. But I am also a massive nerd. And I absolutely love Lord of the Rings. It's obsession, really. I've listened to the books I don't even know how many times. I've watched the movies I don't even know how many times. I also really love Harry Potter and like the fantasy stuff like that. But yeah, I'm a big nerd. So, okay. Next up, I will show you kind of my new focus that I'm doing. So Alicia, who is Adventures of Stitching, decided that she was going to bring out this piece and try to finish it by the end of the year. And she decided that kind of after I had finished these two particular pieces. And then I decided to, I was getting FOMO, fear of missing out, and I decided that I was going to do it and try to finish it at the end of the year with her. And this is Rivendell by Country Magic Stitch. I started this piece along with Alicia and Rainy. Rainy is not doing a psycho focus on a finish like Alicia and I are, but I'm excited because it would be another whip, you know, knocked out of my rotation, and I'm already kind of working on my plans. I think I've pretty much put them concrete for next year. So my goal now is 200 stitches a day on this particular piece. It's more block stitching, so it's easily, you know, it's pretty easy to get it. So this particular piece is stitched 20 count 1/1 with CXC. Again, CXC is a little bit fluffier, a little bit thicker than DMC, so you can usually get away with doing one strand, I feel. I started this piece at 32%, so I'll go ahead and show you now. This piece is now at 49.70%. So I've finished the diagonal that I was working on. And then I decided from watching the Max Color Stitcher that I wanted to start kind of going this way instead. So I decided to start going this way, which is where all this sky and the rock and the waterfall came in. But these are going to be, I think, the start of the, like, I don't know what you call them, like archways that are on like the bridge or whatever over here. If I bring them in real close, you can kind of see them a little bit starting to come out, but there we are. So we're at 49.70%. So we're almost at 50%. This is actually really small. But I don't know, I really like it. So there we are. Okay. I could feel a cough coming on. Oh, I didn't tell you, I did write a stitch count though. I did 3,818 stitches on this particular piece since you guys last saw it, and since we decided to start doing a focus on the finish. So lots of stitching done on it. So there that is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch projects, and I'm gonna grab a drink of water, so I'll be right back. Okay. All right, let's dig into some whips. So our first whip up is a new start that I did on October 1st. And I started it along with Dawn Marie and Lacey. And I believe Dawn has actually busted hers out as well and has been working on it this month. And this is the Halloween Party by Shannon Christine. This particular piece has been the bane of my existence. I'm on restart number 3. The first time I started it, I was on an 18 count and I really loved the fabric, but it just looked really, it was an 18 count 2/1 with just hand dyes that I just picked out myself, which I really liked, but it looked really like smushed and bulky. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try it on the other side of this and do it 1/1, but use CXC for the 310 because, as most of us know, DMC 310 can be a bit thin. So I tried that and I hated that too. And I was like, what the heck? Like, it wasn't thick enough. So I found this scrap of 20 count. It's actually the fabric that I am doing Mini Gardener's Paradise on and Mini Farm Stand. So I was like, I'll just do this and I'll just use my master set of CXC. So that's what I've done. But however, I've stitched on it a little bit and I'm like, I'm over this. I don't want to do it anymore. So Dawn Marie has essentially finished hers and I haven't touched mine in like 2 weeks. So it is currently at 28.26% though. And I've done 1,632 stitches, leaving us here. So it is not on here accurate, but this is as wide as the piece will be. It's very small. I'll bring it in. So we have a little witch. We have a little haunted house. It says boo with an exclamation mark. And then we have little Frankenstein. So the only thing I have done differently on this piece so far is this is meant to be done with white, the back stitching of the boo, but I didn't know if it would show up very well in white, so I chose to do it in black. And then on, I think the corner right here, there is supposed to be a cobweb, and I don't like the way that looks, so I'm not adding the cobweb right there. I'll add it later on. There's some spiders, and I'll add that, but I just didn't like the cobweb randomly hanging off the side of the picture frame, so I'm going to omit that, but I should get this back out here soon and work on it. My daughter has claimed this, that she wants this eventually. She claims almost everything I stitch though, so I'm not scrapping it. She really wants it, but I'm just going to keep moving. Almost hit myself in the face. I'm going to keep working on it, but it just hasn't called to me. I think probably because I restarted it, these two things like 3 times, that I was just like, I'm over this. I need a little bit of a break. So if it rolls into next year for whatever reason, it's fine. It can roll into next year. It's okay. So this is where we're at on this one. All right, next up, we have another non-full coverage, and this is by Ink Circles. It is called Circus of Circles. This one got 1,002 stitches. It started at 35.37%, and we're at 40.39% now. So I'll probably put a picture above my face or something, I don't know, but here we are now. This is on an 18 count ice dyed unnamed from Dying for Cross Stitch, and then my floss color was originally unnamed from Dying for Cross Stitch as well. So I'll go ahead and bring it in. So just working more on this. This is really nice. Sometimes I can bust it out, but then I get bored of it really fast. It's good on little bite-sized pieces. But hey, we've hit 40% though. So that's exciting. But I like the way these look. I had my other one done the same way on like a purple ice dyed, and then I just used DMC 550. So I don't know, I just like the way they look. So oh yeah. So I have a couple more. I think one more. No, this one doesn't count. So this was my last one I did. If you remember in a couple videos back, I did everything done or started previously to this year. If they didn't have a page finish, my goal was a page finish. If they did have a page finish, I was going to do 1,000 stitches. And then I looked at my wheel and I was like, I gotta move these pieces along faster. If they have a page finish, I don't need to add 1,000 stitches on them right now. So I took those off my wheel. So this was my last 1,000 one that I did. And then I'm just focusing now on my page finishes. So my next spin on my wheel was Mini Farm Stand by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork on this one is by Donna Gelsinger. And this one needs a page finish, but I have to do it in small amounts because it's a Haid page. And Haid pages, if you don't know, are giant compared to a lot of other companies. I mean, they're almost like twice the size of a lot of other companies' pages. So I got 1,000 stitches and I was horrible and didn't write my starting percentage down. Go me. So this one is, no, that I lied. I was looking at the wrong one. So what happens when you have so many, like, look at this. I did notes yesterday. I was so detailed in my notes. I have like notes. And I think I have a back page too. So it's easy to get confused. So Mini Farm Stand was starting at 3.20%. And it's now at 4.46%. So here's Mini Farm Stand now. We got a little bit of a crease going on. This one's 20 count 1/1 with CXC. You can definitely see we've hit the end of the page. I don't remember if we've hit it down here or not, but it needs quite a bit more to go. So just doing it in little 1,000 rotations. But as you can see, I brought some out. It does blend, but I mean, eventually you're not even gonna see this fabric, so that's Mini Farm Stand and where we're at. Crazy that we don't even have one page yet, but we're still at 4.46%. If these guys if my goals happen this year, cool. If not, it's okay, but I'm sure gonna try. Next up is Mini the Nativity. This also needs a page finish and I left it on the hoop. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is also by Donna Gelsinger. If you can't tell, I really like Donna's work. This one is the one I forgot to write my starting percentage down. But I'm ending it at 8.30%. And again, we still don't even have a page finish. But this is, I got 1,000 stitches on it. And here we are on this one. This is a 22 count 1/1 with DMC. So I started going cross country all over him. I was having a lot of fun. So we're working on, this is gonna be the first Wiseman. So, yeah, here's where we are. But I'm really happy with this one. I can't wait for this one to spin again and get this one back out. So let me go ahead and switch. I'm sorry for the pauses. Take a drink and I'll get the next round. Okay, so these are my last 3 projects, but I feel like this is where a lot of my stitching came in. Well, 2 of them. All right, next up. It was so nice getting this particular one out. This is God Shed His Grace, the medium-sized version from Artisy. You can get this from 2 different places. I think the Cross Stitch Studio is the other one, if I'm not mistaken, but theirs is enormous. I'm doing the Artisy version. And it's on a 22 count 1/1 with CXC. My starting percentage was 4.27% and my ending was 5.20. I got a page finish. This one's off the wheel. So, trying to show you so I can do a side by side. We'll do it over here. Here we go. So I finished this diagonal off, which is my page finish. And if you can see here, see that little blip where I did 1 extra stitch? That's because that's where essentially the page ends. So this is like almost half of a page into the next one and like half into the one down here. So I was doing a diagonal and I didn't want to stop the diagonal. So, but this is essentially like probably, so if you smush these ones together, these two different pages, it's essentially 2 pages, but you can definitely see those clouds and the sun coming through. I'm really happy with it. It was really, really fun to get it out and to work on it again and to get a goal done. So this one is off my wheel for right now. Next up, this one was kind of a pain in my butt, to be honest. This is Butterfly Rose Cross. It is Retired Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Bridget Ashwood, but like I said, it's retired. This is the no background version. This one did need a page finish. However, I forgot to write my starting percentage down. I only did 238 stitches and it's at 5.80%. So here we are now. So we've finished this part, which was on one page, and I think this is part of a greenery that's going to be on there. So then I was coming over this way and I was going to do, you know, the page over here. And the color that I was going to start with was, where is it? Krennic, right here. Krennic number 4032. And it looks like this. I hate this stuff. I've never stitched with Krennic before, Krennic or however you want to say it. It's horrible. And Alicia actually went on and found me the Petite Treasure Braid version, like the color that matches this. But I'm on a no-buy right now, and I'm probably going to break that in December. So I'll buy it then so I can work on it next year. But I will not be using the Krennic for this. I just find it was horrible to work with. It laid really bad, and it looked really sloppy, especially compared to my other stitches. And I was like, yeah, no, this is not happening. So I ripped all that out and just filled in over here from this page. And I was like, I'll just spin again. I'll be done. So I took this particular one off my wheel for right now. And I'll work on it next year when I get the Petite Treasure Braid instead. But yeah, that was a no-go. I don't know if I said, but this is on Simply Navy in the light version from Dying for Cross Stitch, and it's a 20 count Ada. So that's where we're ending. Only 238 stitches. So my next spin was Silent Night by not Tilton Crest, by Artisy. Did I start this with, I want to say Erica and Leann, but I'm not positive. Maybe I just made something up in my mind. We'll blame it on my chest cold if I did. But this one needed a page finish. I'm doing the large version, like I usually tend to do. And this is a 20 count 1/1. And I got my page finished. But the funny thing is it took it from 0.88% to 1.64%. That's it. 1,704 stitches. And here we are. So I love that you can see a star. And you have to look at it far back. Hopefully I'll do a side by side. Here, hold on. There we go. There's your side by side. But if you can see when I bring it in, it blows it out. These are trees in the background. But if you bring it back, you can see them a little bit. They're not supposed to be like in your face, but you can see that they're there. And then this is a little star in the background. So I have a page finished, guys. So it's a big piece. Like I have a lot of fabric here, but I just feel like a lot of the detail is missing on a lot of the non-large ones. So I'm like, I'll stitch the large ones then, that's fine. So yeah, you can see those trees coming through. And my bag also that I keep it in was gifted to me by Erica as well. So that's all my progress, all my stitching in the last month. So far this month has been my slowest stitching month, which doesn't surprise me with everything that we've had going on. but we'll see if it stays that way or not in the last couple days. So one other thing that I've been doing a lot this year is, or this past, month, is books. And I feel like I've done quite a bit. Maybe not compared to some people, but compared to me. So I know a lot of people like hearing about books, and I do too. I actually have a sticky note on my desk, so if I'm listening while I'm working, I can just jot things down. So the first up is I finished The Women of Oak Ridge by Michelle Shockley, that I was doing in my last video, and I actually really like this book. I really like Michelle Shockley's work. And it, of course, it had a happy ending at the end, which I'm all for. But it was a World War II era, but it was like post-World War II, and finding out, the way this town in Tennessee did things and helped things, and kind of the story around people and stuff like that. So I really liked that one. And then I got one from NetGalley. I put in for 3 and I never heard back on the other 2. So this was The Gales of November, and it is the untold Edmund Fitzgerald story, and it's by John U. Bacon. And a lot of people, if you are from the, I would say, Great Lakes area and the surrounding states, you probably have heard of the Edmund Fitzgerald, especially if you are a Michigan girl or guy. So the Edmund Fitzgerald sunk in Lake Superior in the 1970s. Huge shipping boat, but and it's kind of the untold stories, kind of about the guys and interviewing family members and stuff. It's not a historical fiction. If you are interested in history, you will really enjoy this book. There is a Edmund Fitzgerald song. I heard it and knew it growing up in late elementary, middle school. And there is a band, I forget what their name is, but they redid the Edmund Fitzgerald song. And I love it because they didn't try to change anything, right? They made it their own by keeping it so traditional. And I will try, if I can find it, I will try to link their version below. But yeah, so that was a good one from me. We actually want to take my daughter up to the Shipwreck Museum. She wants to go over spring break, but I'm not really sure, because we thought about taking her to the Sulaks too. And I'm not really sure if the actual ships will be moving really yet. It's kind of too early for them, I think. Okay. Next up, this was a Hoopla book. This is called When the Day Comes by, I think it's Gabrielle Meyer. This was recommended to me by Alicia. She loved this series. She talked about it in her booktube channel, but what's Alicia reading or something like that. I don't know if it's what's Alicia reading or what is Alicia reading. It's one of those. But this particular one went back and forth between, oh gosh, what was it? There was 2 different eras. So basically they have these time crossers they're born, and typically they're born to another time crosser. And hers was her mother in one of the periods, and she had a pretty horrible relationship with her mom in the other, and she goes back and forth, and when they hit a certain age, they either have to pick, or certain circumstances in their life could pick for them. And I felt really bad for her at first because it wasn't the time period that she wanted. However, in the end, it just 100% worked out. So typically not a book I would normally pick. There's quite a few in the series. I'm not sure if I'm going to read any of the other ones, but I really enjoyed this one. Next up is The Second Story Bookshop by Denise Hunter. And I had started this, and the funny thing is Alicia had it on her TBR, so she started it with me. I really liked this. I'm going to check out more from this artist. I don't know. I really liked it. It wasn't my typical era fantasy or like historical fiction. It was just a cozy book at perfect time of year. So I recommend that one. And then I finished the first book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, which is Court of Thorns and Roses. And you can definitely tell it's a setup book for additional ones coming up. I felt the same way with like Throne of Glass. You could definitely tell it was being like, you needed this book to go on to other ones, you know. But so I finished that one, and I'm currently listening to, I've got 2 going on, and I have A Court of Mist and Fury going on, which is book number 2 in A Court of Thorns and Roses. And then I'm also listening to The Commandant's Girl by Pam Jenoff, and this is on audiobook, and I'm enjoying it so far. I've had to get used to it a little bit because the narrator isn't necessarily my favorite, but I'm liking the actual storyline so far, which of course is a historical fiction from the World War II era. So that is all the books that I've read or listened to. It's been a lot. I feel like there's just some days I'm like, I don't want to watch anything. I'm just going to listen and work. So, okay. So we'll finish with life and then maybe talk a little bit of planning that I'm working on. So, life has been crazy. So right after I filmed last, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard because it was a national thing. There was a shooting at a Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so a Mormon church in the town next to me. This happened as Bella and I were it happened on a Sunday as we were getting ready to head to our church. And the guy who did this ran his truck into the building, started shooting, and then set the church on fire. So it became a box alarm, which for those who don't know the fire, that means basically like they are requesting additional fire departments to respond. Of course, ambulances from every area, police officers from every area, you know, the SWAT team, the FBI, the bomb squad, like everybody came. So my husband got toned out and was there fighting the fire for over 6 hours. And thankfully they got the guy almost immediately. There was a officer on scene in like 30 seconds after the 911 call, which is amazing, unheard of. But so they were there battling the fire for over 6 hours, and they got their picture taken and put in the newspaper, and they just look, him and his partner just look beat, you know, mentally and physically, right? Just worn down. So after all that was done, he told me more things that, you know, like the news and stuff didn't know that they found out. And I just removed myself for like a week from social media. I stopped talking to people as like, I just had to like come to grips with this because like, I could have lost my husband that day from just other things that he told me. So, it was a lot to work through, you know, just like how could someone do this, and then working through that aspect as well. So I don't mean to bring this down, but it's part of my life in the last month, right? So yeah, that was a lot. So there's been a lot of debriefing things he's had to go through and stuff like that. But yeah. And after that, a couple weeks went by and there was an open house at my husband's fire department, which we do every year. We rotate between the stations. And it's a chance for the community to come in to meet the firefighters, to see the trucks, to see the ambulances, you know, to see everything, to check them out, you know, to talk to the firefighters and stuff like that. And they had a MedStar helicopter come in. So I don't know if I can insert this video while I'm talking or whatever, but so they had a MedStar helicopter come in, and then they open up the helicopter and let people check it out and talk to the crew and ask them questions. And then they typically do a extrication where they get these like old cars that have been wrecks and stuff like that are totaled, and they're just shells basically. And they'll do like a demonstration with the cutters and spreaders and stuff like that to show people like kind of how they have to cut cars apart and stuff like that. So it's always a great time for the community and, you know, stuff like that. So let's see. Soccer is finished. So hopefully we can get back on the 2-week schedule. It finished with a tournament 2 weeks ago, and we were this close from placing third. We got 4th at the last moment. We were winning, and then they pulled ahead from us at the very last minute, and we lost 3-2. So I was proud of the kids. They played 3 games that day. So I was very proud of our kids. Very proud of our kids for how they handled and how they did that day. And the amazing thing is each team that was there recognized one of their players to get an award. And they presented it, you know, before the games and stuff throughout the day. And Bella got the award for the sportsmanship award from her coach for her team. And I'll try to insert a picture of her right here for like ethical behavior and good sportsmanship and stuff like that. And I told her, you know, right there, that says a lot about you versus ever winning a game, right? Because that shows how you are and who you are on and off the field, regardless if you win or not. So our first marking period is done. We have finished on the AB honor roll. She worked her butt off. I'm so proud of that kid. Soccer taught her a lot of time management this year. So soccer ended, and then the following week, band started. So we're in band season now, and instead of doing things after school, we're doing them before school. She wanted to do basketball too, and I was like, maybe next year in middle school when band is an elective and you have it during the day versus at, you know, before school, because I just think being at school or in some sort of school thing from 7 a.m. to like 7 p.m. is just too much. So I think that's my entire life update. That was a lot, I feel. There's probably other random stuff in there. Oh, my niece got baptized this weekend, so we went over for that. There was a parents versus kids soccer game. That's how they decided to end it. And I played. I couldn't walk really well for the next couple days, but I played. I think that's where a lot of this came from. But it was really fun to see the smiles from the kids and the parents' faces. The good teamwork they started playing with. Bella almost got a couple goals by herself. The kids had like amazing passing skills. I'm like, where was this all season? I told the coach, I said, I think this needs to be a before the season thing, because I feel like it just really helped them with like to let them know it's okay to get in there. You know, it's okay to steal the ball. It's okay to have that competitiveness. So we'll see what happens next year. So I have been prepping for next year, sitting down and figuring out what I want to do. And I think I'm going to do something kind of like Leann from Forbidden Fire Code did, and divide my projects into spring, summer, fall, and winter, and have a smaller list for each season. So I'm really excited about that, to be honest, and I'm looking forward to seeing if that kind of speeds it up, as I won't have as many to pick from. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to get back on 2-week rotations for videos, because I feel like it's easier to remember what you talk about. It's less editing, it's a shorter video, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here before the coughing starts, apparently. And get this edited and uploaded. So hopefully I will see you guys back in 2 weeks, which will be November already, because we're already at the end of October. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. Remember, your mental health is important, and to take time for yourself each and every day, and to be a light to the world around you. And I will see you guys later.